Have you ever been completely sure that you were right about something? So sure that you didn't even pause to consider another possibility? In life, we often make quick judgments. But sometimes the answer we see is only part of the story. In a quiet and cheerful town, there lived a bright young girl named Emily. She had curious eyes and a creative imagination. She loved drawing colorful pictures and listening carefully to stories in class. Emily enjoyed going to school every day. She liked learning new things and playing with her friends during recess. But there was one subject that made her feel nervous and unsure of herself. That subject was math. Numbers often felt confusing to her, and the rules seemed strict and unbending. While other students answered quickly, Emily liked to pause and think deeply before speaking. She was not lazy or careless. In fact, she was thoughtful and observant. She simply saw problems in her own unique way, and sometimes that made her feel different from the rest of the class. One bright morning, Mr. Johnson walked into the classroom holding a basket of shiny red apples. The students immediately became curious. He smiled warmly and announced that they would learn math in a fun and simple way. Looking around the room, he stopped at Emily. "Let's try something easy," he said kindly. "If I give you 4 apples, how many apples will you have?" Emily lowered her eyes and began thinking carefully. She counted quietly in her mind. After a moment, she lifted her head and answered with confidence, 5. The classroom suddenly became quiet. A few students exchanged surprised looks, and some even giggled softly. Mr. Johnson blinked, assuming she had made a mistake. With patience in his voice, he repeated the question clearly. "If I give you 4 apples, how many apples will you have?" Emily smiled gently and replied again, 5. Now the teacher felt confused. He decided to change the example to see if she understood. "All right," he said. "If I give you 3 strawberries, how many strawberries will you have?" Without hesitation, Emily answered, 3. The teacher nodded and added, "And if I give you 1 more?" She quickly replied, 4. The class relaxed, believing the misunderstanding was over, but Mr. Johnson returned to the apple question once more. "Now, if I give you 3 apples, how many apples will you have?" Emily paused again and looked thoughtful. Then she answered softly, 4. The room grew silent once more as confusion filled the teacher's face. Just moments earlier she had said 5. Now she was saying 4. Neither answer matched what he expected, and he began to wonder what she was thinking. Mr. Johnson slowly walked toward her desk and knelt beside her. In a calm voice he asked, "Emily, can you explain how you are thinking?" The entire class leaned forward, waiting for her response. Emily quietly opened her backpack and reached inside. She pulled out a small red apple and held it carefully in her hands. "My mom packed this for me this morning," she said gently. She looked up at her teacher and continued, "So if you give me 3 apples, I already have 1. She counted slowly on her fingers and finished, "That makes 4. The classroom became completely silent. This time there were no giggles. Only thoughtful expressions filled the room as the students realized what had happened. Mr. Johnson felt a wave of understanding wash over him. He had assumed Emily started with 0 apples. He had not considered what she already had. Her answer was not careless. It was not foolish. It was simply based on her perspective and the information she carried with her. Standing up, the teacher addressed the class thoughtfully. "Emily is not wrong," he said. "She answered from her own point of view, and that included something I did not see." The students began to look at Emily differently. They realized there was more than one way to understand a problem. Sometimes the difference lies in what each person knows. See the world through others' eyes to find true wisdom and understanding. Life is very much like that simple math question. We often believe we understand a situation completely. Yet we rarely stop to consider what others might already be carrying. We do not see their experiences, their memories, or their silent struggles. We only see the surface. And from that limited view, we make judgments. When someone reacts differently or gives an unexpected answer, it does not always mean they are wrong. It may simply mean they are seeing something we cannot see. Before judging someone, take a moment to pause. Ask questions instead of making assumptions. Listening carefully can reveal details we never noticed before. Understanding another person's perspective requires patience and humility. It means accepting that our way is not the only way. It means being open to learning. In that classroom, a simple apple taught a powerful lesson, not just about math, but about empathy and understanding. And it reminded everyone that wisdom begins with listening. True wisdom is not about proving others wrong. It is about learning why they think the way they do. And when we learn to see through someone else's eyes, we grow stronger, kinder, and wiser. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.